Okay, so I'm getting ready to fill the pastry case now for the quiche. So I have some fillings here already. I just cooked this leek in a bit of olive oil and a bit of a little bit of salt on it. So I'd say if you're going to fill anything in, you're better off to cook it first and flavour anything that you're going to put in your quiche, because if you put it in just raw, it's not going to have any flavour, and that's what you're going to find. So anything, cook it first and flavour it. Okay, I have some mushrooms left over that I had cooked from last night, and these were cooked in butter. So I heated the butter up really, really high. I just cut them quite chunky, and then I put black pepper in and some salt. So I have that over, and I'm also going to use the juice here because it's quite flavoursome as well. So think about flavour because eggs are quite bland. Okay, so there's flavour on the leek here, which I cut up into nice small pieces, and that's cooked with olive oil. Okay, so that's a polyunsaturated fat. Okay, but the mushrooms here are cooked in butter, which is primarily saturated fat, and they taste really lovely. Okay, so that's with black pepper and salt, and there's just salt in these. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about first is then I'm going to mix up the eggs here, and again I'm going to use salt and I'm going to use black pepper, and then what I'm going to use is, because I don't use dairy just because I get migraines, and that's why. So this is actually going to end up a vegan product, not by design because I'm not a vegan, but I just don't take dairy because I get migraines. So it has ended up, this is a vegan quiche. I'm going to use almond milk, and this is actually Ones and Done's, but I actually don't like this one, and I'm not going to buy it again because I don't like it. I find it tastes quite greasy. Normally I use the Alpro one, and I find the organic one from Lidl to be okay. It's quite an almondy taste of the one from Lidl, like an almond essence kind of taste of it, but I don't mind that, that's okay. But the Alpro one, which would be the more expensive of them, is the better one, and the cashew milk is one that behaves more like a normal milk than these ones, because they'd be more watery, but this would be higher in calcium, and it's fortified with calcium and vitamin B12, which vitamin B12 in particular is one thing that's missing from the vegan and vegetarian diet. So anyway, that's how it's ending up, just as a vegan thing, just because I have I'll eat some cheese now and again, but because I really like it, and but I shouldn't. So what's going to happen is, because we are going to, you have to kind of guesstimate based on the size of your dish how many eggs you're going to use. So I'm actually going to use 2 because I think that's going to be enough. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in first before I start putting the egg in, because you're going to have something called displacement happening. Okay, which, if you bring your knowledge together with maths and physics, you should know about displacement, because if I pour the egg in and then I put these solid objects in, something's going to happen like this. Okay, so if I fill this all the way up, okay, so I'm just going to move it over here. So if I put my egg in and I mixture into the thing, and then I come along and I put just say this represents my mushrooms and my leek, and then I put this water represents my egg mixture, and this is my pastry case. Okay, and if I put this in, what's going to happen, hopefully this doesn't break my glass, let's hold on to it for the catch the vibrations. Okay, well, I should have had it filled up to the top. What's going to happen is there would be displacement, okay, and then it would spill out over the edges, or it's going to come right up to the top, which I also don't want, because we're going to whisk this and it's going to incorporate air into it, and it's going to rise and it's going to spill out over the top. Plus this has spilt out onto the chopping board here. Okay, we don't want that to happen. Okay, so we're actually going to do this the other way around. Okay, so I didn't need 2 glasses anyway, so just put that away. We're going to do this the other way around, where we're putting the mushrooms and the leeks in first, and then we're going to take the egg mixture and then we're going to pour it in, but we're not going to fill it all the way up. Okay, so then you're going to you don't have to worry about that. You have room for it to rise and all that kind of thing. Okay, so be aware of other principles besides chemistry, because baking is chemistry, that there are other principles that you use throughout the school, like displacement, which is Archimedes' principle. Okay, they come into cookery. So think of those, think ahead of those as well. And also this is a piece of limestone, okay, which I would have got on the beach, and I've lots of different stones here on my windowsill. This piece of granite, okay, would have came from the north of Galway Bay, and these pieces of limestone would have came from the north of Galway Bay as well, and have all little ridges in them because they would have came down from when the last ice age ended. Okay, they were all brought down. Both these things are found in the north of Galway Bay. So that would have happened about 11 to 13,000 years ago. But anyway, let me get the pastry out of the fridge here. So we have this, and it's been sitting in here, so I'm going to get ready to fill this. Okay, so I shouldn't really take it out till the last minute because it's quite warm there. So I have, like I said, I'm going to have 2 eggs I'm going to use. So we have also been looking at eggs, and you would have remembered about this. I think you can see it there. Yeah. Okay, the date, the stamps that are on the egg. So the first thing you'll see about this is that there's an I on it. Okay, so that means it's free range. The egg, so the I means free range, 0 is organic, and the number 2 is barn, and then number 3 is a cage. Okay, so we don't really want those because those animals don't really have a nice life, and neither do the barn ones, so really you should be going for free range, preferably free range, and the organic are the better of the eggs, especially the organic, because they have a better structure to the egg, because it takes longer for the hen to lay the egg, so the egg takes longer to form, and the proteins are formed better within the animal. So what else is on it? Okay, IE, so that means it's made or laid in Ireland. Okay, and then the next thing is the number of the farm that produced the egg. Also is the best before date for this egg. Okay, and eggs, remember to store it with the point way down, and they should be stored in the fridge. Okay, we want to keep it cool because the shell is porous, and that way it'll stop the rate of evaporation, because up here is the air pocket, and we want to stop that increasing because that draws in bacteria and air and increases the rate of staleness, and the bacteria start attacking the inner part of the egg and will increase the rate of food poisoning. Okay, so you want to keep them in the fridge, pointed end down to protect the yolk. And what else? Okay, guidelines for buying eggs. When I'm buying my eggs, I always look to make sure that the shop obviously is clean and all that, but they have a good system of egg rotation. I always check the eggs, I lift them up, I look at the bottom to see is there any wet areas on the box. I open it and I'll check every single egg to make sure that none of the eggs are broken. So don't buy them, because even though there's a membrane under here, as soon as this is broken, it's like your skin being broken. Okay, microorganisms are going to go in and they're going to start attacking this right away. It's a perishable food, it's high in protein, and it's also very high in water. Okay, 75% of it is water, so we don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 eggs here. Okay, so I'm going to say that I just cracked my egg and it all went all over the place, so I don't know why that happened, but a little hole came at the top of the egg. It's obviously got to do with the egg, the way the egg formed itself. There was a weakness here, so what happened was I cracked it, and instead of it cracking around the side like it normally would, I could put my 2 thumbs in and pull it apart, it cracked here, and the white has just fallen all over the countertop here. So I'm just going to get some tissue and just going to clean it up. Okay, so everybody should have a bin at home where you keep your organic waste. Just clean it up. I don't want to use any sprays around this at the minute in case anyone's saying, well, doesn't just spray it, because I have food there and I'm going to put the shell in the organic waste bin as well. So remember washing hands when we're dealing with eggs because salmonella. It's going to reduce the risk of food poisoning. Okay, just leave that there. I'm just going to dry my hands. Okay, so I end up, that shouldn't have happened. Like I said, normally when you crack it at the side like that, it'll crack here and then I can crack it in here. Okay, so I'm just going to stick another egg in. And don't worry about if you see red bits inside your egg and you start freaking out and say, oh my god, what's that blood? It's perfectly natural. Okay. If you don't like it, just get a teaspoon and fish it out. Okay. There are lots of different components in the egg, and if you do get any eggshell in, you can put the eggshell in and scoop it out, which I don't particularly like because you don't know where the eggshell's been. And I know some people say it catches onto it. I prefer to get a teaspoon. So I'm going to be careful actually how much almond milk I put in. Now you can put cream into this. It's really nice to put cream in. I would put a single cream in, a low fat cream. Okay. This is a balloon whisk. Okay. If you don't have a balloon whisk at home, a fork. Get a fork, perfectly fine. Or if you have a hand whisk and you have one of these at home, that will do. What we're going to do is, this is mechanical breakdown of the protein. We are going to fifth years as well, okay? Protein comes in two forms. They're fibrous or the globular protein. And all the forms of protein in the egg are globular proteins, okay?